Here.
Hey everybody, welcome into our weekly webinar. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Instagram right now, Dan.
Trying it all. New usually YouTube's our bread and butter, so that's always been our focus here. But welcome in, guys. Excited to get back to it. Got a topic for you today, just like we've been doing the last several Wednesdays, probably 3 months or so now. Today's topic: how to post a property on the MLS without using a realtor. And a lot of people know the answer to this, but they don't know the details that go in it and how to do it properly. So we're going to walk you through step by step how to post a property properly on the MLS without a realtor. Welcome in, guys. Hey, Silk Road Organic. I've seen that name quite a bit over the last few weeks. Max, welcome in from Italy. Gregory Wilkins. Awesome. Excited to be here, Ron.
Excited to have everybody. We're going to give it a couple minutes before we get started. What I do want you guys to do as you guys are coming in, if you guys can answer that question in the chat, whatever chat you're coming from, we'll be able to see it. What is the biggest advantage when selling a property without a real estate agent?
Ooh,
answer in the chat. What is the biggest advantage when selling a property, land, house, commercial property? What is the biggest advantage not using a real estate agent when you're selling a piece of real estate?
All the real estate agents just backed out because they got mad at your question.
they're dipping out. This episode or this topic isn't to rip on real estate agents. It's just about to talk about, because a lot of people don't think you have to. A lot of people think it's illegal. Like there's a high percentage of people who think you need a license to sell a piece of real estate.
Not the case, but we'll get in all the weeds here. Pete, welcome in. Brian, welcome in. Pete says, "Gee, thanks. I'm a realtor." We're not, no hard feelings. We use realtors and not use realtors. We do whatever's best for the situation ahead. And
keys to not using agents: control over the process, timing controls, and cost. I sold a home using Listing Spark, and the service was great. A quality flat fee listing service. Not sure they can do biz in the States. I'm looking and mailing into the checking out. Depends on the realtor, 100%.
Depends. Yeah, we'll go through these. Welcome in, guys. You in. A lot of people saying commission.
Mark, you're a realtor too?
Scott Darby, welcome in.
Got some realtors. Again, all right, I think everyone knows that. Yeah, appreciate everybody hopping in. Been using List with Freedom. Awesome. We'll talk a lot about, we're going to walk through some things.
Yeah.
Our goal here, we've talked on the broad spectrum, Dan. We've talked about how to list a property, how to choose whether you're going to use an agent or not. This is basically how to do it with an agent. It's what we're going to do here. Pros, cons, everything like that.
Yeah. And go ahead. For those who are just hopping in, because we haven't said it since the beginning, today's topic, we're discussing how to post a property on the MLS without using a realtor. And this isn't a bash against realtors or anything. There's certain situations in rural America where it's better to use a realtor, and there's certain situations where it's better not. We're going to get into those weeds there. But every Wednesday we bring back a new topic. So if you guys have thoughts on next topics, let us know. But if you guys are just hopping in, answer the question of the day. What is the biggest advantage of selling a property without a real estate agent? And we'll get into the topic here soon, Ron.
Awesome. Let's get rolling, guys. Got a lot of people in here, a lot of new people. If you guys are in here, feel free to ask questions outside of what the topic is. We're here to help as much as possible. Give me a second, Dan. Let me get this up and we will get started. Awesome. Again, if you haven't answered that question, would like to see your answer. What is that?
Well,
let's get started, guys. How to sell a property without a real estate agent. We're ready to roll. Let's go. Let me share my screen here. All right, we should be good here, Dan. Okay, again, posting property on the MLS without a realtor is what we're talking about today. Again, this isn't to bash on realtors. I know a lot of realtors follow us, stuff like that. It's just certain situations call for it. Having the knowledge behind it is definitely valuable. A lot of different answers when we ask this question here, but let's get to it. All right, so reasons to not use a realtor. I think this is important. I think this is important for just understanding like when to not do it. Number one is probably the most common thing, Dan, is just the fees, right? So realtors are going to take between 6 to 10% depending on the sale price. They split it oftentimes with the other side if another realtor comes in, but there are costs associated with it. Like if you really know how to sell a property, there's a good chance you can save money by not using a realtor. That being said, there's a lot of pros in it. But the first thing everyone comes to mind with is fees. And the opposite, a realtor is going to come to me and say, yeah, but we're going to sell it for more money. And that is 100% true. Like, if you don't actually know how to sell, if you don't actually know the market value, if you don't have a buyer's list, the fees might pay for, the realtor is going to pay for themselves a
Yeah.
lot of times, Dan, if they're good.
Exactly. And that's more true for people who don't know. We did one last week, right? On how to sell a property correctly. Was that last week, Ron?
I believe so.
We did the Wednesday workshop last couple of weeks on how to sell it properly with the right marketing at the right price. And we went into all the details there. If you don't know how to do that, a realtor is going to help you 10 out of 10 times get more money than you're going to, and the fees will pay for itself.
100%. Second thing is speed. So this is a couple of things. Like, sometimes they're just slow. Like, what we like to do in our business is the day after we buy a property, it is on the market. Realtors, oftentimes they have to get to the land. They want to make sure you sign their contract understandably, but it can slow things down. Our average time on market with a realtor is about 45 days longer than our average time on market without a realtor. And they're also going to lock you into a contract, or try to lock you into a contract, whether it's 6 months or 12 months. And if you get locked up with one that isn't doing the job, it can be very difficult to get out of them.
Yeah.
Number three, I think it's probably the most important one for what we're talking about in terms of selling land, is there's no quality realtors in a market. This is a real thing in rural America, especially when you're trying to sell a quote unquote specialty asset like a piece of land. If there are not quality realtors in a market, you don't want to force these contracts, Dan. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you money, because like a good realtor can make you more money, a bad realtor can cost you money. They're going to keep asking you to drop the price. They're going to tell you a price up front. I can sell it for $50,000. 2 weeks later, like, we think we need to drop it to $40,000.
Yeah.
And they're not doing their jobs. So using only quality realtors, which is easier said than done, is important. And then finally, price point is too low, which I think someone just said recently in the chat, is if you're selling a property for $20,000, you're probably not going to be able to find a quality realtor to list that.
Yeah, it can be really, really difficult. I mean, it's 25,000. Do the commission math there. You think about being in rural America. You're an hour and a half from a city, sometimes even more rural than that. So no realtors from Atlanta, Georgia, are going to want to go an hour and a half away to list, a 30-acre or a $30,000 property. And then vice versa, when you're actually in that area, it's such a small town. A lot of times there's one realtor or a couple realtors in the market that they specialize in houses, like most realtors, and they don't know the land market. They don't know how to price the land market. They don't know how it moves. And that's the biggest pain point, is the quality of realtors. We'll call 10 realtors to get opinions on properties. Sometimes 3 of them might call you back. And of that 3, 1 of them might be a good fit and actually go to land and look at it and know what they're doing. But you're talking sub $50,000 properties. It's very, very difficult.
100%. That's a good point. Yeah, we'll move on from there. So let me know in the chat, guys, if you've had any realtor horror stories where you've signed a realtor contract. Those things are, I don't want to say like concrete, but it is not easy to get out of a realtor contract. Those are extremely this is an example that we had probably about 3 years ago, Dan, and I found the text about it. So this is this picture on the left side. This picture on the left side is literally the first picture, the only picture this realtor posted when he posted on the MLS. And like I talked about, what'd you say? It's an amazing property. Like, this is an amazing 5-acre property. We're listing for like $50,000 or something like that. And I actually found the text here that I was asking him about. So I literally just asked him, like, why is there only one picture essentially on the MLS when we put it up? And his reasoning is it's going to build anticipation. He's going to have it up. I think 6 days later, he said he was going to go and get pictures. But I remember how mad we were about this, Dan.
Yeah, this was a while ago, and it's they sometimes what you have to be careful with is once you sign that contract, the bad realtors, just like anything, guys. There's we have great real estate or realtor experiences, and we have a couple bad ones, and a lot of our experiences have been good. But of the bad ones, they try to get you in that contract as quick as possible, and they overpromise, and then they underdeliver on what they actually do. And this guy was, I think, in the Bahamas at the time. I remember he was
out of town, and then he said he would get the pictures up next Tuesday. You can see it says here, gonna put pics up Tuesday when I get back. He was out of town on vacation.
But he didn't tell us that leading up to it at all. That just came when he said he was going to post
post properties on the MLS that aren't ready to sell. the key to selling properties fast is those first 7 to 14 days. Any realtors in here will agree with me. I believe you have momentum those first 7 days. If you don't portray the property for what it is, like this isn't going to get people to go to your property. Like it looks okay, but it is literally Google Earth screenshot.
This is in a very, very desirable area, and this is A+ land at a really, we were under market
Fully
value
fenced.
on this.
This entire
Fully
thing right
fenced
here
out.
was
Yeah,
fully fenced.
this was nice.
So we went to their broker. We went to his broker and we fought to get out of this contract.
And we did.
I just told him I wouldn't sell the property. Like I just told him I wouldn't accept offers, I think, or something like that. Like we're just not working with you. And I was serious at the time, but we bought this property for like $15,000. We listed it for like $50,000. So again, we're in that kind of weird pricing point, but he sold me on himself. It was a learning lesson for me.
Was it a whitetail?
I don't remember. I think it was one of the bigger companies.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I'm not going to call out the company by any means. But yeah, just once you sign that contract, you're in. Like they're salespeople, and once they get you to sign that contract, they know the same thing. Like I have 12 months to sell this property. How long are they going to take? And they might take, if you have a high level of urgency, just be careful. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go through. So what we're talking about, we these first 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, Dan, we were talking about, Realtor and everything like that. Now we're going to actually walk you through how do we actually post up on a flat rate site. So essentially this is a site that is going to get you on the MLS. You are still, if a buyer realtor comes in, you are still going to offer them 2-3% commission depending on the property. But we're going to actually walk through this. The 3 main sites we use. We probably use List with Freedom now more than HomeCoin.
And someone asked in the chat real quick, Ron, describe the MLS is all the MLS is well, you'll get multiple on all the sites. Yeah, multi-listing. You'll get on all the sites. You'll get on the Zillows, the Realtor.coms, the Redfins, all of that. So it's
and then you have local MLSs, which I'm going to go over here, which is very important. So we have a property here. We're going to go over this actually a property that we currently own. We have pictures here, drone pictures here that we got from droners.io. Keeps on doing that. And then I'm going to actually pull this up on the land portal so we can see what we're actually trying to get posted up, see what area we're in, and then kind of make a decision on what we want to post on what site. We do end at 6 o'clock. We have 15 more minutes. If you guys do like what you guys are listening to, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps. If you have any questions along the way, please let me know. But I'm going to go in. I'm on the land portal here, Dan, and I'm going to pull up our property. Again, this is actually a property that we own right now. I think we have a link in the description for a land portal 14-day trial in there. So here we have, let me see the acreage here, 8.16 acres, Elmore County, Alabama. All I really want to do right here is see where we are in the county so I can kind of see what's going on. So we're in Elmore County, Alabama. So the first thing you want to find out when you're doing this is find out what MLS are you trying to post in. And what you do, so what happens, I'm going to show you guys here. Realtors, tell me if I'm wrong, realtors aren't looking on Zillow for deals to find properties or stuff like that. They're looking on their local MLSs typically. Again, tell me if I'm wrong, realtors. But what I'm going to do here, we're right in this area. What you want to do is find out what MLS in the area of your properties are selling in. So if you click into these recent sold properties, you can scroll down and you can see what MLS this is. LMMLS. I don't know what MLS that is, but we can always look it up. So MMMLS. Alabama. I'm going to keep looking through these to see if I see that more. It's an interesting one.
It was LMMLM.
How many?
Did you get that right?
MMMLS.
LMMLS.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Just reading through the comments. If anyone has questions, stop us, please. Okay, let me click through a few more here, Dan. My go-to has been List with Freedom recently. I know we've had a lot of good success with them. They have and the reason I'm clicking out of these is because they don't actually have a real sold date. So what you're going to look for here is you're just going to look what things are selling on. Again, that's my goal. You can look down here. This is coming up as public records. So I'm going to skip that one as well. There's a lot of those down here, Dan.
That's what it seems like.
Remax, MLS number. And then you can go down here as well. Remax of Alabama. I think it is going to be the general Alabama. What I'm going to do is go on List with Freedom. List with Freedom is probably the most national one. Broker Direct MLS was really, really big for a while, but it just is a headache to use. It's really difficult to get approved. And you can see it's different for different areas when you do this. Let me actually log in, Dan. See if that works. And when you're posting a property up, so you're going to go list your home on here. You can do this for house. You can do this for anything. Listing term 6 months, and you can see the number of photos. If you want more photos, you can obviously go with more photos, number of changes, all this information. I'm not going to go through everything on here, but this is what you're going to look through here. There is also a fee that goes to this site as well when you are doing this. But what you're going to do, you're just going to hit list now. Then you're going to put your property information in here. Let's see what we got here. It's a little weird, Dan, when you're doing vacant land because it just has trouble sometimes picking it up. Let me find this on here.
Especially since there's no addresses associated with vacant land a lot of the time.
This is coming up on an address. I'm going to see if this actually works. Let's see if that works here. So it's coming up Elmore County. The local MLS for your system is MAAR. And this is the key. You want to make sure that this, whatever MLS is coming up here, is the actual MLS. This is where it's going to be posted. And if you're not going in the right MLS, you want to choose a different software so you can get in the MLS where properties are being sold. Because if realtors in this area don't have access to this MLS, if they're not paying for this MLS because it's not the common MLS and the site's wrong, then they are not going to see your property. It is a thing that a lot of people skip over. They go with.
Can you see it for sale on for sale properties, Ron?
Yeah, you can't see it on for sale. Let me see exactly where.
Probably easier since there's no public record on there.
Yeah, you're right. So you can go down here. Also listed on Remax. Here it is, source MAAR. That's what we're talking about.
Yep. So there's one.
Again, source MAAR. This is, so if I saw something like Greater Alabama come up here, this would be a red flag because this would not be the MLS we're trying to get in. So you're going to hit vacant lot. I'm good with that. We're going to hit continue.
If you guys have questions too, get it in the chat. If you like what you're seeing, like Ron said, please like and subscribe this channel. We come back every single Wednesday to try to provide as much value live as possible.
I think I've used one in the past that required using their in-house closing agent, or they charge a couple $100 for not using it. Yeah, I've never had that.
Interesting.
There's some add-ons. I'm just going to skip through that.
Contract review.
I'm going to try to not pay for this. Yeah, so I'm not going to pay for this. So essentially what's going to happen next once you get on that, and I can actually go to our listing dashboard and pull one up. I actually think I can find this property because we do have it listed, I believe, on here.
Nice.
Let me check real fast.
Will list with fee? That's a good question, Greg. Will list with Freedom list with a signed attorney in fact for double close? I think they will, correct?
Yeah, if it's notarized and stuff, they should. I mean, things change all the time. List with Freedom has added some more regulations. I don't know when exactly, but they have added some more regulations on this. Oops. Let me go back real fast. And you can manage a ton from this site. Like Broker Direct MLS, which is one of them that I showed you guys, they are okay, but there's just so much going on. And in here, once you do get it posted, this is what it's going to look like. You can edit your pictures in here. You have unlimited edits. You can see that we just did the 6-picture package. It's important to make sure you're getting good pictures, but the leads are going to be coming straight to you. And that's the powerful thing is you are on the MLS. Every realtor in this area who has a client looking for 10 acres, whatever the acreage is going to see your property.
Along with that, you'll be on Zillow and Redfin. You'll be on to the public because a lot of the end users and consumers will use Zillow and look at Zillow instead of the MLS feed. So you're going to be hitting both sources.
For sure. And a lot of people look at this, Dan, the buy owner. This is for sale by owner. This is not the MLS. You can see nothing's even listed here. Maybe if I scroll out, something will pop up. No. But this is not where you're going to be. You're going to be listed by an agent. And what it's going to look like, I might be able to find our property here, actually, Dan.
Let's see it.
what it's going to look like here, 34 saves in 34 days. Not bad. You can see here, we're on the MAR. This is, I don't know if he's the owner of List with Freedom. I don't know what his situation is. What it's going to be called, what's going to happen when they call in, it's just going to ask for a listing ID or something, and then it's going to be forwarded straight to our phone. So this is what it's going to be listed. There's going to really be no difference in what our posting looks like versus what a realtor's posting looks like.
Yeah.
Any questions on that, Dan, or anything you have?
When you are funding the property, have you found with List with Freedom wants you to sign the agreement? So the funder signing it, correct? I think Howard's talking about the
Matters
funder
who's on the
does need
deed.
to sign it, right?
Matters who's on the deed.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing. So if when we fund it, we're on the deed though. So let's go by that example.
Yes, then we would sign it.
If the funder's on the deed, whoever's on the deed needs to sign, correct? And then it goes on the MLS. Yes.
This is a licensed broker. So Spencer said, how does it get on the MLS? List with Freedom is a licensed broker. And they are a part of each of these MLSs that they are listing in. So that's literally how they do it. They are just a licensed broker in all of these. And then what you are doing, you can see here, this is what we are offering to buyers, realtors. So there's no realtor fee on the selling side. We are offering buyers, realtors 3%, 4%. It just depends on the price of the property. This one was struggling to sell, so we raised that up a little bit, I think. But this is what we are offering buyers, realtors when they come in. So you're saving half of it essentially.
Yeah. And Spencer said, if I put it on Zillow as for sale by owner, will it go everywhere? Absolutely not. That would just stay on Zillow, and it'll also be in that hidden tab. It's very difficult to find for sale by owner properties.
Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, all these sites just pull these listings from the MLS. That's what you see. Like if you post on Zillow, it's not going anywhere else. That's going to be under for sale by owner. Zillow comes, everything from Zillow by agent is just pulling stuff from other spots.
Correct.
That's where all of this data comes from. Zillow is getting basically none of their data in-house. It's just pulling data from the MLSs.
Right. Tamir said, if a manager wants to manage the listing, you will need an attorney in fact with List with Freedom. Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's a big question that we've seen a couple of times. But that's really the main thing, Dan. Any comments on that as far as selling this? Like once you do get it listed, you just need to deal with the realtors are gonna treat you just like any other realtor. You just gotta give them directions to get to land, everything like that, and just handle like any other lead. And you're gonna save. I think you can do it faster sometimes, and you're going to save money on those fees as well.
Yeah, and once you have control of the process instead of the realtor having control, there's a lot of advantages. There's also disadvantages, but make sure when you guys are looking to do this, check. List with Freedom's only one source and specific to locations. They don't cover nationwide, correct, Ron?
They are very, very nationwide now. I'm not sure how much they are extremely. Yeah, they are.
Their website looks a lot better than when I last saw it too. It looks like
it's a lot more user friendly. They take that 0.25%, which is fine. I mean, it adds up, I'm sure, for them, but it's fine. No, they are very, very nationwide now.
And I want to reiterate the other thing that I wanted to finish off on is make sure that you guys, if you guys aren't using a realtor, go back and watch our videos on how to post a video. Just make sure you're listing the properties right, because that is how you just tank a listing and lose money. If you don't know how to list the property, you're not answering the phone calls, you're not following up with the potential buyers, use a realtor because they're going to make you and it's going to sell quicker as well.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'm not against using realtors. We probably use realtors for 50% of our properties. And typically the times when we don't, it's either the price point just doesn't make sense to use a realtor, or there's just no realtors in the area that are doing land, because land is, for every 100 realtors there are for houses, there's probably 2 or 3 realtors that actually understand how to sell land.
Exactly. When you do have, and I saw Tamir posted in here. I think Tamir, correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, but you've only used realtors and you've had great success with them, and that's how you grow. Realtors can be a huge asset to your company as well once you find the good ones, especially if you guys start doing subdivide plays, which is my favorite strategy in real estate in general. And you start making these other plays, big deals, subdivides, different things like that. They can help you target different things. They can help with or organizing the surveys. They can become a really big asset to your company as well if you get the good ones.
For sure. Once you do a couple of deals with realtors, like they are going to go the extra mile for you. They're going to see the long-term play with you. They're going to give you. They're going to be a huge asset. And we have realtors like that, and it grows our business tremendously having quality realtors in your back pocket.
When just the buyer's agent is involved, should you always choose the title company?
Typically, it matters who's paying for the closing cost. A lot of times the buyers are choosing title companies. So you can have multiple attorneys. Like some states that are attorney states, buyers are going to choose their attorney, sellers are going to choose their attorney, and they're going to work together with it. It varies for sure.
Tamir said, getting the best price opinions are very valuable for my business. That's something I don't, I don't, a lot from my experience and Ron's experience, they've been off on pricing more than right. That's just our, sample size that I take less into account than them actually doing their job, taking buyers there,
Yeah.
taking pictures, following up with leads, all that stuff. The good ones will bring ATVs to the properties. You have 80 acres, they'll bring ATVs and put the future buyer on them and drive them around and things like that. It's really cool what they can do. But price, we do listen to their price opinions. We do always require that they give us one before listing, but it is or even the good ones a lot of times.
Some of our best one of our best realtors is just like his price opinion just is never right. And the cool thing about it is like, I just tell him I disagree. Can we post it up for this price? And then he always agrees. Like he's not pushing back on it unless he really thinks like, listen, this is too cheap or too expensive. It's not going to sell for this, or it's going to be, you can make more money.
Why do you think some of them are wrong on that?
Huh?
Why do you think they are? So a lot of them are wrong on the price opinions just because they don't know.
I feel like they use like more of their feel for the market. Like the most experienced ones, like use their feel for the market as opposed to actually looking at comps. There's a variety. It's difficult with so little comps, but I haven't had much success with realtors giving us accurate pricing.
It's far. I would love that data point if we always.
And sometimes they'll kill deals for you. Like it's hard when the hardest thing for me is when
especially
a realtor
new,
tells
you got to be careful. Yeah,
I'm looking at comps like there's no way this doesn't sell for 200 grand, and they tell me 120. I always ask them like, can you just send me some things of examples of land like this selling for that cheap?
Recently,
but yeah. Other than that, guys, if you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I think we have the Land Portal 14-day free trial in the description. If not, go to landportal.com, and we do have
landportal.com.
Exactly, thelandportal.com. Other than that, appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, guys.